Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at the Soundpeats Air 4. Now these just came out as of today. Soundpeats actually did send a coupon code for you guys to be able to use because these normally come in at $79, although right now there's like the little box you can check off which brings them down, and then the coupon code which makes it where you can pick them up right now for only $43. And basically Soundpeats is once again proving that they can give you a ton of value without breaking the bank. I mean, for $43, once you hear all of the things that you're getting and you compare them to things like the AirPods, because that is kind of where I would sit these. They are a semi-open style pair of earbuds, which basically means they don't use the ear tips. But the strange thing about these is they actually have hybrid active noise canceling without using the ear tips. I haven't seen a company pull that off, or haven't seen it be very effective on a pair in the past, but it's very interesting what this pair is doing. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all of the other features, what all comes inside the box, and basically see why I think these are a steal coming in at only $43. And even the retail price of $79, there is a lot of value in the Soundpeats Air 4. So to start with, some of the features, and again, some of the things that makes these stand out, is this pair has Snapdragon sound. So if you have a phone that is compatible, that's using the Snapdragon chip that these are compatible with, you have aptX lossless playback, which is incredible. You're getting 24-bit playback up to 96 kilohertz, which is basically like CD quality on a pair of true wireless earbuds under $50. And on top of that, it's using Bluetooth 5.3. It also has aptX Adaptive HD, aptX Low Latency, and it has a gaming mode. So mixing this with the fact that you have Bluetooth 5.3, which is already good at cutting down lag and latency when it comes to videos, movies, and games, you have that aptX Low Latency mode, and it has a gaming mode you can switch these into, which cuts down lag that much more. In fact, it says 88 milliseconds. That's like almost instant. So I didn't notice any kind of lag with these, which made them great for all different types of media. And this pair also has multi-point connection, so you can connect to more than one device at a time. And normally you see this on more expensive models, so it's nice to see it on a pair that you can get under $50. It also works with Soundpeats app. Now, I've said this in pretty much every video where I've talked about Soundpeats app. Do not expect anything special here. It's kind of a bare bones. It doesn't really look like much of an app, but within the app, you're able to keep the earbuds updated. It also has adaptive EQ, so you can kind of go through like a hearing test and it will put together an EQ setting that it thinks you'll like based off what you've kind of chose throughout the test. And it also has your ability to turn your noise canceling on or turn it into normal mode. That's the two different modes that you can listen to these in. You also have some pre-built EQ options, or you can just go in and customize the EQ settings you want. And that, to me, is a really nice touch, and again, a pair that's under $50. And you can also disable the touch controls. So if you're somebody that moves around your earbuds quite a bit, or you're going to be at the gym where you may have to do that and you don't want it to change tracks or do anything, you can just disable that within the app. But speaking of the touch controls, I am happy to say that these give you control over everything out of the box. So you have your play, your pause, your ability to skip your tracks forward, go backwards, you have your volume control, you have the ability to switch it into the gaming mode, you can turn it in the noise canceling mode, all from the earbuds themselves. And again, that's a nice touch because you don't have to go into the app and switch any controls around. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about the noise canceling because again, a pair like this, a semi-open pair that doesn't use ear tips, you would not expect it to have noise canceling, let alone the fact that it does. You wouldn't expect it to be very effective. This is very impressive what these are doing. Now, you do need to make sure that the earbuds are kind of like pushed in enough that you're getting somewhat of a seal, because when you turn the noise canceling on, you immediately can tell that the microphones are trying to, kind of pull some things in and dampen it, and it immediately starts to dull out the things around you. Now, don't expect anything mind-blowing when it comes to the noise can. It's not going to be like silent and just isolate you from everything. But the fact that it's even able to start to block out anything, I was really impressed with. It really dampened out people talking, but when it came to lower tones like AC units and engine noises and things like that, it really does do a good job of blocking those out altogether. So again, something I didn't expect to really find effective was very surprising in this pair, and that's the noise canceling. But also, I want to point out, when you have these in noise canceling, it definitely does something to the sound. It boosts the low end quite a bit. So I had to kind of play around with different EQ settings to find like the right sound with the noise canceling on. And the perfect sound for me was to have it in like the vocal boost or treble boost mode, and then have the noise canceling on so that it's boosting the highs, but letting the noise canceling boost the low end. And it just became this really dynamic sounding pair of earbuds. But we'll talk about that in just a second once we get to the sound. Now, some other things is it does come in rated at IPX4, which really just means it's going to be fine against rain and sweat and things like that. Just don't submerge this pair into water. Now, when it comes to what you're getting in the box, this is kind of weird because when you open up the box and you see where the accessories should be, there's a photo of ear tips. And with this pair being a semi-open pair of earbuds, it doesn't come with ear tips. So I think they just kind of use some of their default packaging they use on another pair of earbuds, but it does come with a USB-C cable, and this is how you charge these. There's no Qi wireless charging on the case, so you will have to use this cable. And speaking of the charging, battery life is just okay. You're going to get 6.5 hours on the earbuds on a full charge, and with the charging case, you're going to get about 26 hours total. And I didn't see where there's any kind of fast charging, so that's a little disappointing because I've just gotten used to being able to charge a pair of earbuds for like 10 minutes and get an hour or 2 hours worth of use. So it may have them, but I did not see anywhere where it says that it does. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, it uses 6 microphones total, and it's using CVC technology. So basically what that means is it's focusing in on your voice, and it's also doing what it can to block out your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here's the mic test using the Soundpeats Air 4, and I think overall it's doing a really good job of picking up my voice, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here's the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. Now these are using 13mm dynamic drivers, and I was quite surprised in what these were doing. Now, not necessarily the sound that they had out of the box, because out of the box I felt like it was a little too warm. It didn't feel like it was trying to bring out a lot of the mids and the treble. But like I said earlier, once I had the noise canceling on and the vocal or treble boost mode on, it was like the perfect alignment of how these should sound. The treble came out quite a bit more. It doesn't get too bright or too harsh, but it definitely brings out a lot more of the details. And the noise canceling being on just makes the bass that much more punchier. It's still like pretty tight overall. It's not like sloppy bass that's coming in and destroying everything else, which surprisingly, the sound that it has out of the box, the bass just is a little too bloated. It's not as tightened up as it is with the noise canceling on. So this is definitely one of those cases where you're going to want to mess around with the different sound settings to get the right one for you. Now, when it comes to the mids on this pair, this is where I kind of felt like they left these alone. The vocals and all are not too enhanced or too pushed up front, but they're never left feeling like they're left behind. It doesn't feel like it's behind the music. It feels like it's just right there in the middle, which I think is really impressive, especially once the noise canceling kicks in and everything else is boosted on these. So for the most part, it is a very dynamic sounding pair of earbuds that also does a really good job when it comes to soundstage and sound imaging. And this falls back to the design of these. These are semi-open, so they feel a little more open when it comes to the sound. And being able to tell where different sounds are coming from, this pair has no issue with. So if I'm going to rate these on the different genres, I would say if you mainly listen to pop and hip hop, I would give these an 8. If you mainly listen to rock and metal, I would also give these an 8 here. When it comes to easy listening, because they're not really doing too much to try to push vocalists up front, I would give them a 6 here. But when it comes to media, because they have that Bluetooth 5.3, they have the low latency mode, they have the gaming mode, I would give these a 10 here. And so really my overall rating is a solid 8. And if from a value standpoint, this is definitely going to be a 9 or a 10, because this ultimately would be a pair that you would compare to Apple's AirPods, which come in at about $170, or if they're on sale, they come in at $130. So the fact that with this pair, you're getting that aptX lossless, you're getting different EQ options, you're getting noise canceling that actually does work, where the AirPods don't even have this feature, I think being able to get them for $43 is pretty insane. And it definitely makes it a pair that I could recommend to anybody, especially if you're looking for AirPods, or if you're somebody that can't use a pair of earbuds because ear tips annoy you or they're just not comfortable. This is a very comfortable pair, and it's a pair that has so many features. In fact, really the only features I wish these would have had is fast charging and Qi wireless charging. But in this price range, and considering everything else that you're getting, it's kind of easy to overlook those things, and it's easy to recommend this pair. So yeah, this is another great value from SoundPeats. But guys, that wraps up my video on the SoundPeats Air 4. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.